As I was looking at my finished top yesterday, I just realized that there's actually 3 parts with different stitches on this top, which made me question myself, should I or should I not make these different gauges for this pattern? And after 20 minutes of staring at this project, I had 2 conclusions. One is, for this overall project, I only used 1 hook, which is a 3.5mm all throughout the pattern. So if I would have used, let's say, a bigger hook, which is, let's say, a 3.5mm for the ribbing and then a 4mm for the panel, then that means I will be altering the number of stitches on the panel. Now, currently, my ribbing has 7 stitches per inch and my panel has 6 stitches per inch. That is with a 3.5mm hook for both of these parts, for both of these stitches. So if I would then use a 4mm for the panel instead of a 3.5, then my stitches will have bigger gaps in there, which will decrease the number of stitch counts to 5 instead of 6. So number 2, this shows me that even if we use a different type of stitch than the other parts of the pattern, these stitches will just adapt to the other stitches in the project if we use the same hook. So in my conclusion, as long as we use just 1 hook for the overall project, even if there's all sorts of stitches incorporated on there, you'll only need to provide 1 gauge. And you can choose either you provide a gauge for this part or a gauge for this part, as long as you will use 1 hook. Whereas if you use 2 types of hook for the pattern, then it is so much better to provide a gauge for each of those parts, because we all have different tensions. And because if you'll just provide, let's say, 1 gauge for the ribbing only, then your readers may get confused and they may end up getting all the gauge correctly for the ribbing, but for the panel, their stitches will be too loose or too tight, even though they use the hook that you provided on there. So these are my thoughts today. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Bye!